This is the only way for him to establish dominance. Lionesses sometimes try to exist, but the invader acts selectively, targeting dens where there are either no lionesses or just one. Since the male is about twice the size of the female, she cannot protect her offspring alone. But here's a completely different situation. The conqueror miscalculated and encountered lionesses who were collectively defending their cubs. Dealing with these enraged mothers is a big mistake. The male is very powerful, but the lioness's fury makes him falter and retreat. 3 lionesses immediately launch an attack on the lone male. The intimidating sound of their roars echoes across the savannah as the heavyweight lionesses exchange devastating blows. Then the remaining lionesses join the brawl. The lion can't resist. They surround and overpower him. Whenever he tries to counterattack, one of the lionesses attacks him from behind. He must retreat now. The lion cubs are safe. Hopefully this remains the case. Lionesses can't constantly guard the cubs. Either their father will return to protect the cubs while the lionesses hunt, or they'll have to deal with this male while they still have numerical superiority. Not always does maternal courage yield the results we hope for. This rabbit mother couldn't make it in time to save her little ones. But as Tony Stark once said, if we can't protect, we'll avenge. Apparently, this rabbit is a fan. She, on her own, attacks the venomous snake after the reptile ravages her burrow. And you know, the reptile definitely regretted its choice of victim, because the fighting skills of this rabbit would impress even a seasoned bulldog. The long-eared fighter battles incredibly desperate, constantly dodging the snake's strikes, striking with paws, gripping with jaws. A rodent is not adapted for such battles, but it uses its entire arsenal to the fullest. Paws scratch the snake's delicate skin. Teeth accustomed to grinding hard vegetation inflict even more damage on the reptile. In the end, the snake quickly retreats from the rabbit's territory, but the rabbit does not stop, and even as the reptile withdraws. The rabbit prolongs the fight, attempting to deal with the snake. Unfortunately, it all happened the other way around. The female received a bite from the venomous fangs, and the toxin will stop her heart in less than a minute. However, the surviving little rabbits must have remained in the burrow alive. The snake will never dare to approach them again. Among birds, many are excellent mothers, but ducks are particularly impressive. These birds may look like ordinary, cute, harmless feathered creatures, not armed with sharp beaks or powerful claws. Calmly swimming with their ducklings, scooping water with their little funny feet. However, underestimating a mother duck was not a wise choice. She bravely shielded the ducklings with her own body. The duck received a painful bite on her tail, but she went for this sacrifice quite wisely. While the aggressor pecked her, the female attacked from below, into the soft belly. For the protection of the ducklings, who all turned out to be safe, the duck was ready to gut that goose. Fortunately, it didn't come to that. Although the goose displaced the duck family, not a single chick of the brave mother was harmed. As in this case, the duck timely noticed the heron, which approached too close to her ducklings. Think herons are harmless frog catchers? Not quite. These birds catch anything with their sword-like beaks as long as the size is suitable for swallowing the prey whole. Probably the duck knew not to trust the heron. But instead of just keeping an eye on the potential threat, she decided to deliver a preemptive strike. The heron didn't expect that. The duck didn't just hiss and threaten. She rose on her wings and attacked the more massive opponent from the air. The heron had to retreat, and the duck kept chasing it until it left the water. However, seagulls usually pose a much greater threat to ducklings. These feathered robbers aggressively attack any potential prey. But ducks have learned to resist them quite well using one weapon: lightning-fast reactions. You see a family of ducklings peacefully feeding on the bread thrown to them. By the way, never feed birds with bread. Such food seems tasty to them and they eat it with pleasure, but in a bird's stomach, bread does not really digest but swells, causing very serious problems. However, this seagull thought that she would become a serious problem for the duck, and that wasn't the case. The white aggressor underestimated the duck's reaction speed. As soon as its wings flashed near the ducklings, the female immediately went into action. She attacked the opponent with her beak and tried to drown it. The seagull did not expect this turn of events. This is not a unique case. This seagull immediately regretted attacking the ducklings. Perhaps if she had attacked the duck itself, the outcome would have been much different. But for the protection of the little ones, a genuine bloodthirsty monster awakens in the duck. She isn't satisfied with just defending. She wants to teach all seagulls a lesson through this one. Let them know what will happen if they ever attack her ducklings. So, with unstoppable rage, the duck not only attacks the seagull with her beak, but also with her wings. Powerful blows stun the seagull, but this is not the end, just the beginning. The duck simply drowns the opponent. She relentlessly pecks the seagull's head and submerges the enemy's beak underwater, not allowing it to escape, take flight, or even breathe. The aggressive assault yields results. The seagull can't offer any resistance to the duck, although it's a larger bird. An inglorious end to the career of this white-winged hunter. But perhaps other seagulls witnessing this ordeal will remember that attacking ducklings is way too perilous. But the pinnacle of paternal devotion in the avian world is how ordinary domestic birds protect their chicks from incredibly dangerous and terrifying enemies. Cobras. There are several known cases, but this one is probably the most epic because the snake caught the bird family in a hopeless situation. A dead-end corner with windows too high, no way out. A trap, that's what this venomous cobra probably thought. A snake that can bring down an elephant with one bite. Yeah, indeed it's a trap. Just not for the birds, but for the reptile itself. Because when the mother noticed that her offspring was in danger, she didn't care who was in front of her. A venomous cobra, a tiger, or an alien monster. The bird went on the attack, and you gotta agree, this looks epic. She not only didn't flee, but threw herself into battle against the snake. The feathery defender knew that aggression was the only way out of this situation. She pushed her offspring into the corner, shielded them with her body, then fluffed up her feathers and went into battle. Although the beak and claws of this domestic bird aren't as impressive as the arsenal of some bird of prey, this weapon turned out to be sufficient to deliver an unforgettable thrashing to the cobra. The snake tries to bite the bird again and again, but the reflexes of her heroine prove to be lightning fast. Mongooses would envy such speed. The bird dodges each strike, but most importantly, immediately goes on the counterattack, striking the snake's head and body with such force that the predatory reptile already regretted invading here. Just look, it straightens its hood, meaning it perceives the bird not as prey, but as a threat to itself. The cobra never stops attacking, attempting to snatch at least one chick. But all its attempts are in vain. The domestic bird turns into a whirlwind of fury, and her defense is more reliable than a stone wall. Several times the poisonous fangs flash in dangerous proximity to the defender's flesh, but her raised feathers save her. The fangs slide off them, causing no harm to the bird. Meanwhile, her claws and beak maim the snake and trample it into the dust. As a result, all the chicks were saved, and the reptile was driven away, never to crawl back here ever again.